All right, peace to the family out there. This is your sister Sirius Joe, aka Mia Joe, aka Sirius Weight Loss. All right, first of all, I want to thank everybody so far who has been supporting me. I know it's going to take I know it's going to take a while to really gain some momentum with all of these videos, but hang in there with me, and I promise you, you're going to enjoy the ride just as much as I am so far. So I have a recipe for you today. This is a stew. A lot of Jamaicans, especially Rostas, would call it Ito stew minus the salt, because they don't use any salt in their stew. So, with the exception of that, that's what this will be. Basically, it's mostly ground provisions. That's what they call it out here, ground provisions, which is pumpkin, and I already chopped up most of it. So in this bowl, I got pumpkin, I have yellow yam, I have coco, and I have some celery, and I have okra. Okay, so that's what's in there. We're gonna throw that in the pot later. But what I have chopped up here is some rosemary. I told you I love the fresh herbs. There's nothing like them when you're cooking food. So I have some rosemary, some basil, some onions, scallion and thyme, some garlic, and I have a piece of a Scotch bonnet. I'm just going to throw the whole thing in there, let it sit. One thing you have to remember, though, is to remove the Scotch bonnet before you start serving your stew, because you don't want to get a spoonful of that in your mouth. All right, and then I have black salt. Now, black salt, like I said, is one of the best salts for the body. It is a product of India, and that's some of what we'll be using in here as well. I have some all-purpose seasoning, which consists of celery, onion, ginger, pimento, scallion, and pepper. All right, so nothing artificial in there, nothing you can't read. And I got some simple onion powder here. Also, I have some Bragg's liquid aminos. Now, you're probably wondering why I would use this and salt. Because Bragg's liquid aminos is like a healthy version of soy sauce. Okay, as you can see, it's non-GMO. There's no MSG in here, so uh, basically, I use this to season my onions and garlic, because I'm gonna saute those first. I'm gonna saute the onion and garlic first and get a little singe on there. Put some of this Bragg's liquid amino, because that really when you put that in the stew, that really gives it a lot of flavor. Okay, but we're not gonna start there yet. What I'm gonna do though is I'm going to get my pan so I can start to warm up or get the oil hot for the onion and garlic. I'm using coconut oil, which actually I have to say is not the best oil to cook with. And I got my holy pants on again. I got my holy pants on again. I love these pants. Anyway, coconut oil is not the best oil to cook with. Grapeseed or avocado oil is the best to cook with, because it can stand high heat. All right. It can stand high heat, and it doesn't become toxic in the body because you have cooked it in high heat. Coconut oil, olive oil, those kind of oils, they really should be used raw. But because I don't have any other oil right now, I'm just going to use a bit of the coconut oil. All right, so I'm going to let that pan warm up. And what we're going to do right now, because our broth is going to be made from this mature coconut that I opened up, cut the stew out of myself with. But I opened it up, cut it up, and now I'm going to throw it in the blender. I've never thrown them in the blender with these whole big pieces, but I'm going to try it today to try to save time so I don't have to throw it through the juice extractor. And hopefully it'll break it down enough. And then I'm going to pour it in this bowl and get in there with my hand and squeeze as much as I can out of it. And then I'm going to strain it into the pot. I'm going to add some water to this, of course. All right. So let's rinse the strainer. And again, I want to say thank you for joining me on this weight loss journey. It's not easy, but I have to say, so far, it hasn't been that hard either. So I'm cool with that. Now I'm going to use regular tap because all of this is going to be cooked. All right. So here we go. Got the coconuts in there. And hopefully this doesn't break my blender. All right. Let me pause this for you so you don't have to deal with that. Okay. I am back. Let's make sure we're rolling. Okay, we're rolling. All right. So that worked out really well. I don't know if you could see it. My apologies. That worked out really well. So I'm going to remove this from here. Let's get this out of the way. Back up, Jaja. Hands down in the kitchen. You know that. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I might not even have to squeeze any of this with my hand. It came out so well. All right. You see how that is? That actually is pretty good. That's pretty good. That's good. All right. Now, I know some of you probably like broth because you probably haven't seen. All right. I'm going to get in here with my hand. You probably haven't heard of or seen anyone use coconuts as a broth. But when I tell you, it is so very delicious. That's exact. You got to try it. You have to try it. It gives it a taste you really probably have never had before, and it's so much better than just using water. Alrighty, so we got a good. Turn this fire down a little bit on this oil. I'm about to throw the onion and garlic in there. Now, again, well, not again because I don't think I've said it before, but garlic, you got to be careful with garlic because garlic is not something you want to use a lot of. Garlic is mostly for medicinal purposes. It's very acidic and it could cause ulcers if you're eating too much of it. All right, so be careful with your garlic consumption. All right. And I said, you know, most of my videos are going to be raw dishes and juices, but every now and then, you know, we'll cook something. All right, we'll set that over there. Get that out of the way because I'm going to save that pulp. Let me dry my hands before I get those onions and garlic in the pan. The oil is hot enough now. All right. Onions. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. So this is one small onion. Okay? And then I chopped up 5 cloves of garlic. I mean, like, 5? Oh my God. But you gotta remember this is going in sort of a soupy stew type of thing. So, and it's really gonna add some nice flavor to it. I happen to love the taste of garlic. All right. Got that in there. Give this a little bit of a stir. All right. We're gonna let that sizzle a little bit while we wait to add the liquid aminos. Okay. All right. So now we got our pot here. We're gonna get it going. We're gonna turn the fire on medium, or the heat, because I don't have fire. I'm gonna turn it on medium, and I'm gonna use the front burner because it's the bigger burner. All right, and we're gonna take this delicious broth. And we're gonna pour this in the pot. Straight in the pot. Yum, yum. All right. I'm going to add some water to it. So that was about 4 cups of broth of the coconut milk. And now we're going to add about 4 cups of water. Well, maybe 3. Okay, 2. 2 for now, because I don't want to kill the coconut taste. All right. Now make sure this heat for the onions and garlic is on medium heat, because burnt garlic does not taste good. All right. So now I did all the hard part for you already, so all we really have to do with the stew is toss the ingredients in. Okay? And you want to do it as soon as possible, because the longer it can soak in there, the softer it'll be in a shorter amount of time. Okay? Okay. All right, so we got that going. Give it a nice little mix. I want you to see what this looks like in the pot. Without spilling it, I'm trying to show you. Okay, can you see that? That looks so good. All right, so let's get that going. I'm going to toss in my Scotch bonnet and my herbs, my rosemary, my basil. I do not have any more parsley. I'm kind of upset about that because I'm obsessed with parsley. I love it. Scallion and thyme, we wait to put in at the last minute. And we're going to put it in whole. We're not going to chop up the scallion. We're not going to separate the leaves of the thyme. Okay? So that's going to go in last. All right? Now we're just going to add a little bit of onion powder. I know we got onions in there, but I like to add onion powder anyway. Just gives it a little bit more variety, if you will. Some spice. This is the all-purpose seasoning, all natural, no foreign ingredients. Just pour a little in there. Okay, so that was maybe a tablespoon of that. Ooh, already smells so good. You know what? It smelled good before I started the video because I had already chopped up these herbs and the garlic and onion. It's just so nice cooking with natural foods. All right, so the black salt now. Be careful because sometimes the stuff comes out in chunks. All right, you don't want to put too much salt in here. All right, so that might have been a teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of black salt, and we could always add more if we need to. So now we're going to add the brags to the onion and garlic, which is smelling so good. Give it a little, so that was maybe a teaspoon of that. Woo, that smells good. And we're going to let this go ahead and singe a little more. Get that brags right down in there real good. Let it soak it all up. Give this a stir. Just get everything mixed in there real good. All right. So that's pretty much it. Um, so once you finish sauteing this, you toss it on in the pot, cover up the pot, and let everything boil together. Um, and then turn your heat down and let it just cook for as long as it takes to get all of the ground provisions, the pumpkin, the yam, everything that's in there. Oh, I forgot to say I added some chocho too. So chocho, coco, yellow yam, pumpkin, celery, um, and okra. Okay. The okra too gives a stew a very, very nice consistency. Y'all stop sleeping on okra. All right. It's really, really good. So, and you don't even really have to deal with the slime element in the okra when you're making it in a stew like this. Okay. It just gives it some thickness and some texture. All right. So this is looking good. I'm gonna let it cook down a little more before I add it in. Okay. So this is a good dish if you're trying to lose weight and you don't want to eat anything that is unhealthy, um, but you need something a little more hearty. Let me look at you. You need something a little more hearty than just fruits and raw fruit and juices and things like that, okay, and smoothies. So you want to choose something, even in the heat. Sometimes it's just good to have something hot to eat, all right? But we do very little of that as possible because when we're dealing with natural fruits and vegetables, we want to keep the nutrients in it, all right? I have the other piece of Scotch bonnet here, so I'm going to taste it when everything mixes together and gets real hot. And see if I need to add a little bit more of that. I'm just going to throw the other half in there if necessary. All right. But the ground provisions are healthy foods because they've been sitting in the ground, and what's in the ground is all of the minerals that the body needs. So it's been sucking all of that up. So when you eat it, you're actually doing a good thing for yourself. Do you need ground provisions? I wouldn't think you need it. Okay. You could live without it. I know people who live just off of fruits. Okay. And they're healthy, they're doing very well, and it's all good. But um, ground provisions still provide a lot of the vitamins and minerals that you need. Okay. So that's what this meal is. So this is good now. I'm going to pour this into the stew. Yum, yum. That Bragg's really, really makes this good. All right. Mix that around in there. And our pot is ready to sit. Throw some water in there. Let it soak for a second. Too hot to wash. All right. So, like I said, once it gets boiling and everything, and you get close to the end, you want to add your scallion and your thyme. Just throw the whole thing in there. You can chop it up too if you want to, but I'm just going to throw the whole thing in there. And when the soup is ready, I'm going to pull these out, and also the scallion. Just pull it out whole. All right, because when it's been sitting in the pot, believe me, that broth is grabbing the flavor out of this. All right, so when it's ready, you can pull it out and it'll be all good. Okay, so that is it. I will take a picture of the results and post it for you. All right, thanks so much for watching. I really love, once again, that you guys are taking this journey with me. I'm feeling really good. I don't want to I don't want to speak too soon, but I have to tell you, it's been great so far. It's been really good so far. And your support is everything. Okay, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my video, to my YouTube channel. I think you have to have a YouTube account in order to do that. It's very easy to set up a YouTube account. So you have to set up the account, and then you can subscribe to my channel and follow me, okay? Peace, love, light, and wellness to you all. I love you so much for holding my hand through this. It's not easy, but your support is really, really giving me the strength that I need to stick with this. All right? Peace and love to you.